Hi, and thank you for being here with me. This is Maria Mandarino, licensed acupuncturist, certified spiritual director, certified Enneagram practitioner, and certified Bach flower practitioner. So today we're going to be looking at what I'm calling patterns of truth, this series, Patterns of Truth, which are the parallels that exist between Enneagram types and the flower essences. Particularly the system that I mostly work with is the Bach flower system. And there's definitely some overlap between the two systems that's pretty amazing from my standpoint. And I have talked a bit about the flower remedies in the other episodes, but to just give you a quick overview of the remedies, they were discovered by Dr. Edward Bach in England in the early 1900s. He was a surgeon who found that his patients were not progressing. They may be progressed for a little while after treatment, surgery, whatever he did with them as a doctor. And they ended up back in his office quite often with the same ailments after he supposedly treated them. And what he determined was the reason behind that was there was something in the personality that was still struggling and suffering that had not been resolved. We can certainly address things surgically, structurally, in the physical plane, but if something is still distressing the soul, those ailments will find another way to be expressed. Those discomforts in the spirit will find another way. So he discovered he had various plants on his estate, and he began to experiment with certain flowers and energizing the water with a flower, removing the flower, leaving no plant material in the water. And he found that water had different properties in it, kind of similar to homeopathy. And so the water, we have these waters preserved, and we create formulas. Those of us that are certified in the system, we create formulas of up to 7 essences. Sometimes we just use one, though. One can be incredibly powerful when we nail the one that is at the center of something that's very deep. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this today with the Enneagram, with the series actually, with the Enneagram and the flower remedies. So if you're interested in this, I encourage you to go back and look at some of the previous episodes on this series, because I do get into it a little bit more in the type 1 episode. I talk a little bit more about how I came to be just utterly fascinated by the remedies, because I was a real doubting Thomas in the beginning. So when I had heard about my teacher's cat going through a personality transformation through the remedies, that's when I was sold. So if you want to hear that story, go back to the Enneagram Type 1 and the rock water episode and Patterns of Truth. So for today, actually, a couple of announcements. First, my course launch on the Enneagram, which will include a unit on the flowers in the Enneagram as well. We'll go into more depth there. That course hopefully is it's really looking like October 18th. There will be a final announcement here, I do promise. But right now, expected around the 18th. There's going to be a special price for the launch for a short period of time. So I'll be announcing that as we get closer. And then also, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your efforts to this point have absolutely wowed me. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful that there are people out here that actually want this information, because for me, it's been life-changing. From working with the flower remedies, I'm doing that work 21 years, and more recent years working with the Enneagram, probably give or take about 10 years there. So this is the work I love. This is the work I do. This is the work I live my life by. And to realize that there are other people out there that are valuing it, I am just so grateful to you. So keep liking and subscribing and sharing. Remember to click that little alert bell if you're subscribing. If you haven't yet, make sure you click it, because that way you'll be alerted on upcoming episodes. So that does it for announcements for today. So type 2, Enneagram type 2, and flower remedies. I'm going to specifically isolate one remedy today for type 2. So our type 2s are our helpers, right? They're our caregivers out there, right? And in their higher expressions, we love our 2s and we need our 2s. They're in the heart center, right? So they're heart types. They're big feelers, and they're our caring souls, the helpful people, that when something just needs to be done, they just can anticipate it and step in and do it. They're deeply supportive people. They're there for us when we need help. They enjoy being there to help people who need help. They're empathetic. They're highly generous. They're incredibly compassionate. Here's an important factor in the higher expression. This is the one you want to look for if you're a 2 or if you're working with a 2. The higher expression, they have good boundaries. That's key. Okay, so if you've got a 2 in your life, or you are a 2 that has good boundaries, outstanding. Okay. And these are our altruistic givers, the people who give without expecting anything in return, right? So there's an altruistic quality to the giving. So again, they're the givers on the Enneagram, right? So, but the higher expression has to do with altruistic giving, with not expecting, I'm going to give to get. Okay, so that's getting to the lower expression now. That's something that we do here. In the lower expression of type 3, they give to get. They need to be needed. And if they're not needed, they feel that they're without purpose. They're very prideful. They need to feel that they're the important person in the relationship, whatever the relationship is, whether it's a romantic relationship or a work relationship or in the family unit. In their lower expression, they're clingy. And that clinginess can feel intrusive. If they care for themselves, they experience guilt. Because they should be caring for someone else, right? They're here to help. Shouldn't be taking care of themselves in their lower expression. All of this can cause them to manipulate relationships quite easily. They don't even realize they're doing it. And it comes from that need to be needed. The manipulation can also look like they almost have radar on what you need before you even know it. And that's where that intrusive experience can come in, because they know you better than you could know you. So they're going to just step in and take care of what you need taken care of without any respect for your boundaries and with no boundaries of their own. So, so again, these are lower expressions. So, and then the key with the 2 is, what do they look like when they're angry? And it's outbursts that are they can be just outbursts, but they can also be scorch the ground rage. And this comes from a level of emotional overload. It comes from, I'm doing everything, I'm anticipating your every need. How could you not know that the very least thing I could need right now is a nap? Like, how could you just not know that? That's where the 2 will go. And it can be like outrageous rage, or it can just be an outburst, a high velocity fit. But it can also have this like scorch the earth quality to it, where you just you don't want to be around the rage of a really angry low 2. And if you are, just realize that it's coming from an experience of or perceiving that their needs are not met. And usually that's because they never express it. You're just supposed to know, because they know your every need. They're so honed in on you, and they expect that's that give to get, right? I'm so honed in on you. How could you not be honed in on me and know what I need? So, and that can really turn into a fiasco with a 2 in their low expression. Okay, so moving into the flower remedy or the flower essence, same thing, that would benefit a type 2 in that state, and that would be chicory. So here are some of the descriptions that Dr. Bach had for people who were in what we call a chicory state. Possessive, overly protective. Their overcare is self-centered and manipulative. So their overcare for others is based on themselves. They're helping you to help themselves, because if I help you, you need me and I need to be needed. So this is kind of that toxic thing that gets kind of starts to play out with a type 2. So their overcare for others is really self-centered and self-serving and manipulative, right? So 2 in their lower expression, they're the manipulators. They're the givers in their highest expression, and they're manipulators in their lower expression. Person in the chicory state can also be controlling and nagging. Sometimes too, in their clinginess, that can feel a little naggy. It is hard for somebody in the chicory state to give without expecting something in return. So we also, in the Enneagram, we call this a quid pro quo kind of nature that the low 2 has. And that's also there in the chicory, in the pattern of chicory behavior, right? It's hard for them to give without expecting something in return. They don't give altruistically, okay? Service to somebody in the chicory state is a duty. It's an obligation. It's, dare I say, maybe even a burden. It would be kind of an extreme word. Chicory people can be also hover mothers. The moms that just will not let their kids breathe. And they'll just, rather than risk scraping your knee, they're like always there to catch you, right? Helicopter moms is the other phrase that we hear, right? People in the chicory state are interfering and intrusive with the best of intentions, right? Where what they say is paved with the best of intentions, right? But their hearts, they mean well, but they don't think it through. So interfering, intrusive, clingy, needy, and they have a selfish kind of love, and that's that give to get kind of love. So those are all the qualities of chicory, which would benefit somebody who's a type 2 in their lower expression. So again, the way we work with this is with the Enneagram. We can, through self-awareness, we can make changes, right? We can see the lower expression, we get to know our shadow, and then we see how we can, shift into our higher self and make conscious decisions using the Enneagram map. Where are our wings? Where are our lines? Where do we go in stress? Where do we go in security? What are our subtypes? There's so many facets to, this stuff is all fractals, right? So you look at the Enneagram map, it's all fractals. And you listen to the patterns in the flower essences, and we don't see them as fractals, but certainly if you look at a flower, my God, you will see fractals. So, so we have this person in the lower expression, and we can use the Enneagram to make conscious choices, to redirect our mind, to redirect our choices, our decisions, bring heart and mind and body into one. Those are the 3 pieces, the 3 sections of the Enneagram that the 9 types, I should say, will fall into. 3 of each of the types will go into the heart, mind, or body centers, right? So, but then if we look at the flower remedies, now we've got something else to bring to the Enneagram. We have a way to take something in from nature that's pattern-based and treat it, right? So we can use that Enneagram map, that understanding, that rich understanding of ourselves that the Enneagram gives us. And now we can take in this essence to help harmonize our personality types where we miss the mark, where we fail, right? Or I shouldn't say where we fail, but where we fall. So when somebody in the low 2 state takes in chicory, here's what can happen. They begin to care for others, which twos do, right? And chicories do, but they begin to care for others unselfishly. And that's the key. It's that altruistic giving, right? That altruistic caring for someone else. So that's what chicory can shift the two from that clingy kind of selfish love into an unselfish love, an unselfish way of expressing care. Chicory will also help someone give without expecting something in return, right? So no quid pro quo, no give to get, just giving from the heart without expectation, which is where all suffering comes from expectation. And it also helps the two or the person in the chicory state to feel self-assured and confident. And the missing piece that goes with that is feeling self-assured, even if somebody's not showering you with love and gratitude and telling you how wonderful and how indispensable you are and how they couldn't get through a day without your helping. Okay, because ultimately, that's what the low two is looking for. That's that give to get. I will take care of you, but I really need you to tell me how essential I am, because if you don't tell me, I have no confidence in who I am on this planet. I have no belief that I have any value on this planet, right? So it's that self-assured confidence without somebody telling you at every point in the day or any point in the day that they couldn't live without your help, right? All right, so here are your 3 journal questions in this series. I am giving people the opportunity to journal or meditate on 3 questions. You certainly don't have to. You can choose to, you can choose not to. But these are the 3 questions, and I will put them in the show notes at the end. First one is, how can I better express my needs in ways that are honest and clear? Okay, so that's one of the struggles that type 2 has, right? Is expressing what their needs are. And that's what gets them into trouble, because you're supposed to know what I need, and it's unrealistic for people to know what you need. So question number 1, how can I express my needs in ways that are honest and clear? Journal question number 2. Reflect on a time when not keeping a healthy boundary created difficulty in my life. How might I re-envision that experience, knowing what I know now? Question number 2. Reflect on a time when not keeping a healthy boundary created difficulty in my life. How might I re-envision that experience now, or knowing what I know now? And question number 3, how can taking better care of myself actually be a gift for someone that I love? Question 3, how can taking better care of myself be a better gift for someone that I love? So again, those will be in the show notes for you if you want to explore them, journal on them, meditate on them, whatever calls you, or if it doesn't call you, you don't need to do any of it. So they're just there. So that's all for today. I hope you're enjoying these glimpses into the Enneagram and working with the Enneagram in a different way, bringing energy medicine into it, natural medicine into it. I find this stuff fascinating. This is my world. This is what I do. This is what I live by. So I hope you find some value in it. Again, if you would like to work with me, mariamandarino.com. There you'll find opportunities to schedule an Enneagram typing interview with me. Also available for spiritual direction or Bach flower consultations with formulas. If you're not sure, which one of those, just reach out to me and ask me. I also have free consultations available. If you scroll down through the schedule, you can see there's like a 15-minute discovery call that you can schedule. If you do have questions or you just kind of want to see if we're a good fit, I always recommend that people do that to make sure that we'll, be good for each other. And again, look for the course. announcement will be coming out within a few days at this point. So I think that pretty much does it. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Again, your efforts, mentioned this in the last episode too. I've just been wowed by the people that are interested in this material. I'm very grateful for it. I just think the work is so important to myself, and it's changed my life and the lives of those around me. And I'm glad that that you're seeing value in it, and that you can utilize some of this material to make your lives richer, because that's really what this is all about. So so thank you for your support. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing on yourselves, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make this planet a better place. So thank you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.